a world ruled by teeth and claws, the only thing separating man from prey was a spark of fire.
Fear and pain. The first lessons fire ever taught, and the most important.
This was more than just a fire. It was the first circle, the first home, the first time humanity truly held back the night.
The circle of light they had created was a symbol of hope. But tonight, the darkness had come to reclaim it.
In a single, brilliant moment, a spark of intellect becomes a weapon, pushing back 1,000,000 years of darkness.
This was not a migration. It was an exodus, a journey out of a dead world and into the unknown. For every step forward, the world tried to pull them back. But the human will is stronger than stone.
In a world of ash and embers, a sign. A towering reminder that even after the great fires, life finds a way.
A stark reminder that in this world, even giants fall. And where one falls, others might rise.
The lightning had scarred the world, but it left behind a gift. A strange, warm light in the heart of a fallen giant. The terrifying power of a lightning storm. The all-consuming fury of a forest fire, now held in the palm of their hand.
The instinct for survival screamed danger, but the spark of evolution whispered, closer.
A cacophony of terrified, guttural screams.
A single, deafening, dominant roar that rises above the chaos. Came curiosity. After cured control. For the foe. It was a simple act, but in this moment, brute force gave way to intellect. And a new kind of tool was born. A piece of coal, once a symbol of pain, was now the heart of a community. A small fire.
For the first time, they did not hide from the coming day. They stood on the edge of the world and welcomed it as masters.
A sharp, triumphant, guttural shout of discovery.
It was no longer just his fire.
Cooking. A simple act that unlocked a world of nutrition, fueling the brains that would one day conquer the planet.
Grunt.
The darkness was darkness, not a predator, but a blanket. Light is hope, but in the wild, it is also an invitation.
For every new light, a new shadow is cast. And in that shadow, something ancient and hungry watches. The smell of cooked meat was a beacon, a dinner bell for the true apex predators of this world.
A deep, powerful, guttural roar. A higher-pitched but equally fierce shout of defiance.
Roar.
The circle was broken. The sanctuary was gone. Now, only fear remained.
A breath away. A heartbeat from the end. This was a warning. There would not be another.
Trapped between a rock and a nightmare, hope had faded, leaving only the cold certainty of the end, 1,000,000 years ago.
When hope is lost, something else is born. A desperate rage that would change the course of history. A desperate gamble. A single spark of hope thrown into the darkness.
In that moment, instinct and intellect combined, creating a weapon more powerful than any claw or fang. For the first time in a million years, the sound that filled the night was not the roar of the predator, but the cheers of mankind.
They had survived. More than survived, they had conquered. The survival instinct was now armed with...
They weren't just looking at a fire. They were looking at the future.
A new generation, a new idea was born.
The great fire that saved them had consumed itself. As dawn approached, only embers remained.
The long night was over. They had faced the darkness, and for the first time, they had won. The fire had died, but its memory remained, black and solid in his hand, a story waiting to be told. He walked towards the echoes of his ancestors, marks left by those who had survived before him. Now, it was more than a drawing. It was a story, a promise, the first page of human history, written in charcoal and stone.
History was not written with words, but with images. A simple mark, to forever remember the night that changed everything. They were no longer just a wandering group. They were storytellers, the keepers of a new, powerful history. He looked at the story on the wall and understood the power in his hand. He was no longer just a boy. He was a fire-bringer.
From the ashes of a dead world, a new dawn. Forged in fire, united by intellect, this was the beginning of our story.
A new dawn. Not just for the day, but for a species.
Their journey was just beginning. The path of human evolution would never stop.
The roar of the battle was gone. What was left was the quiet, steady pulse of their new world.
They were just a handful of souls in an endless world. But their fire was From a night of fire, humanity walked out of the darkness forever. The age of fire gave them warmth and safety. But the age of stone would give them the world.